Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to another video, welcome to my front room, welcome to a discussion video. So, I've been meaning to do this one for a while. I've honestly just been waiting to get my hands on one of these LPs before I do an actual discussion video about them. So, I thought it was finally time to do a discussion on a topic that has been already heavily discussed, but we don't let that stop us from getting involved. I'm talking about which one is the first death metal album. Is it Possessed Seven Churches from 1985? This is the one I was physically waiting for before I did a video on it. Or is it the oh-so famous death debut, Scream Bloody Gore from 1987? Now, before we get started, I just want to put out there that, like I said, this is a oversaturated discussion and I'm just doing it for some fun. You know, these albums are both fantastic, don't get me wrong. For a guy who doesn't listen to a lot of death metal, these are pretty damn amazing. So yeah, I reckon we just get straight into it. Like I always say, get your comments down below. Before we even get started, actually, yeah, is Scream Bloody Gore the first death metal album, or is Possessed Churches the real debut for death metal? Struggling to speak here. Maybe it's because I'm trying to be quiet since my little boy's asleep. But yeah, get your thoughts down below. We're gonna go through each album just notion by notion, bit by bit, and see which one actually racks up. So naturally, the first one we talk about today is the one that came first, and this is Possessed Seven Churches from 1985. This was released on November 4, I'm pretty sure. And for the vinyl fans out there, this is a 2016 reissue on Translucent Green, I think is what it's called. But yeah, aside from that, while a lot of people argue that this could be the beginning of the death metal genre, this one is, like we all say in the same video, it's very thrashy, right? But then at the same time, that's not really a good enough reason just to flock it. Like, because for example, have you heard Cannibal Corpse's debut album? That's very thrashy as well. It's also very groovy in a way because it leans off the tail end of thrash. This is quite a heavy thrash album. Solo wise, it's a bit more intricate than just the average thrash metal squealy, you know, and the later half death metal squealies that we all, you know, grow to love. Obviously the big contributing factor for this is the black metal influence for this album. Obviously death metal doesn't really shine in on the whole satanistic, satanic black metal burn your church type of vibe. They sing more about just straight up violence and other things like that. So that already shies away from making it a death metal album. But that's not to say death metal can't be black metal at the same time. We have black and death metal. Look at Behemoth, right? They exist. But yeah, looking at the track listings for this, you have Exorcist, Pentagram, Burn in Hell, Evil Warriors, Seven Churches, Satan's Curse, Holy Hell, Twisted Minds, Fallen Angel, but then the incredible ending track, Death Metal. So that's probably what makes people want to sit down and be like, oh, maybe this is a death metal. Did Possessed come up with the phrase death metal? Like say, this came out 2 years before Scream Bloody Gore, so it's kind of in the same vein as Venom's black metal, you know what I mean? Like, some people argue that Venom didn't invent black metal with Welcome to Hell, but up until black metal came out, which was 1982, but then also, you know, I used to be on the team that Bathory also invented black metal, being from 1984 with a lot more raw production and a better goat and whatnot. I did a video on that too. If you're interested in watching that, please go watch it. It's a bit old, but it's good fun. But yeah, vocals, again, very thrashy. You know, it's a bit hard to make out what they're saying if you haven't got the lyric sheet, which is typical death metal style, right? If you take it from a generic death metal side, then yeah, vocally it would fit. Do you know what I mean? The only thing that really stops it from being a straight death metal album is the literal content, the lyrical content, and the solos and, well, no, not the solos, but the riffs and whatnot. It's all thrash, but yeah, it's a very thrashy album, right? But then, death metal must have come from somewhere, right? When you hear the words death metal, do you not immediately think, you know, thrash with things going all at once? So, interesting take, but so far, without comparing it to the other one, it's looking good. Songs like The Exorcist in particular have that real melodic section in the middle. Wow, 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 wow. Well, it's not wow, but you know what I mean? There's that melodic riff in the middle. Is that a death metal riff or is that a thrash metal riff? It's a bit melodic to be a thrash metal riff, in my opinion, so it could be an early death metal riff, but yeah. What else is on here? Seven Church, yeah, it's just death metal. The song is a great example because it is literally black metal, the song 2.0. But yeah, either way, it's a fantastic album. If you haven't dwelled into it, please do. But yeah, I mean, strong contender, but let's see if it can withstand the battle going up against Death's Scream Bloody Gore. So yeah, Florida death metal over here. This one came out on, I think it's May 25, 1987. I think it's May 25. And straight away, this is a much more, not to be, well, a bit like that one, not to be taken seriously with the whole album artwork and the whole album name. Do you know what I mean? Chuck really honed in on the whole comedic zombie violent thing, which you can only really get away with in this day and age. Well, which you can only really get away with obviously being a cartoon and comic strip character stuff. But aside from it being like from Pentagram and Exorcist and whatnot, there's no black metal influence on here at all. The only black metal thing that even comes close is the vocals, but still, even that is a mild stretch. So this has nothing to do with black metal whatsoever. You could argue that this is almost skipping over the whole death metal genre and just going straight into technical death metal because it's death. You know, if you've listened to anything by Death, you know that they aren't just a dun 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 type of band. You know, like Cannibal and whatnot, and Possessed for that matter. But yeah, there's a lot more riffing going on. There's a lot more harmonizing going on. The solos are a lot more intricate. However, Chuck's vocals are definitely a death metal standard with the whole type of thing that he does. But yeah, again, content on here: Infernal Death, Zombie Ritual, Sacrificial, which is a funny song in itself, Mutilation, Regurgitated Guts. You know, it's a very violent sounding album. Baptized in Blood could almost be a Bathory song. Torn to Pieces, Evil Dead. You know, it's literally a tribute to the film, that song. And then yeah, the title track, Scream Bloody Gore. So it's a very, they're both quite thrashy in their own way, but this is a lot more thought out and a lot more melodic and a lot more less squealy. So like, in a way, you could argue that it jumps over the technical, that it jumps over death metal completely and goes straight into technical. But you know, that sort of defeats the argument, because if he's jumping over death metal and going straight into technical death metal, he's still in death metal. So it's like, you know, there's your thing right there. But yeah, I'm not too sure at the moment because I love them both and I don't like putting them up against each other. So what do you guys think? If I really had to choose one, like which one sounds better? Production wise, they both sound pretty amazing. Like Scott Burns, no, not Scott, yeah, it is Scott Burns, right? Who did all the Florida stuff. You know, he made Death sound cool. I actually don't know who did this, I'm sorry, or where it came from. I don't even know where Possessed are from, if I'm honest with you. This was Princeton, New York, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe I should have looked all this shit up before we got started, but yeah. This is a lot more rawer. Again, like a black metal album, it's a lot more rawer than this one. This is a lot more polished, you know, which is the reason black metal, second wave black metal became a thing. But like, you know, I think I'm going with Death. I think I'm going with Death because, like, you know, there's a lot of black metal on here. This is pretty much black and thrash, right? Would that be fair to say? It's black and thrash, whereas this one, like I say, jumps over death, goes straight to technical death, but it stays in death. And obviously the name is Death, but don't let that be fooled. They're both fantastic albums, and if you haven't listened to either of them albums and you want to know, you're just investigating where death metal actually comes from, it comes from here, okay? Yeah, there's nods, but it comes from here, okay? Please let me know down below if you're on the same page. Let me know if you're against me and you want to go with Possessed. Hey, let me know if there's a whole nother album that started the wave and you know, the ones that everyone keeps forgetting about. But yeah, that was fun. Just a quick 10-minute video to get my thoughts and opinions out while my little boy is asleep. Take advantage of me being alone and able to film. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, team, while I sit here and get increasingly more passionate about death metal and somewhat black and thrash metal. Like I said at the start, let me know down below what your thoughts are. Keep an eye out for the next video. I will see you all there, actually. Yeah, I'll see you all there. Bye.